जय गोपीजनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनातीरवनचारि यमुनातीरवनचारि जयो राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपीजनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपीजनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जन रंजन यमुनातीरवनचारि यमुनातीरवनचारि जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा मदन मोहन राधे जय राधा गोविंद Radha Govinda Shri Radhe Jayo, Radha Gopinath, Radha Gopinath Shri Radhe Jayo, Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava Shri Radhe Jayo, Radha Krishna Chandra Radha, Krishna Chandra Shri Radhe Jayo, Gaurangi Bangaloreshwar, Gaurangi Bangaloreshwar, Gaurangi Jayo Jagannatha, Baladeva, Subhadra Mai Jayo Sudarshana, Jayo Lakshmi Narasimha Jayo, Ananta Dev, Lakshmi Narasimha Jayo, Ananta Dev, Jayo Nitai Chaitanya Jayo, Nitai Chaitanya, Nitai Chaitanya Jayo, Nitai Chaitanya Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Gurudev, Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol. हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत ऐसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शील प्रभुपाद की जय। इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य से founder Acharya of BBT and savior of the whole world Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahansa Parivajkacharya Stottar Shat. His Divine Grace भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद महाराज की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर जी की जय। प्रेम से कहिए जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। गंगा माई की जय, यमुना माई की जय, भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। श्री अयोध्या धाम की जय, श्री ब्रज क्षेत्र वृंदावन धाम की जय, श्री मायापुर धाम की जय, श्री श्री क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठुकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। So welcome all devotees on the Tuesday morning Srimad Bhagavatam online class organized by ISKCON Seshadripuram, and I thank the management of ISKCON Seshadripuram to give me this service. The service, though I'm not qualified, but it is for the purification of myself and for the pleasure of the Guru, Gauranga, and the Vaishnavas. I would like to serve Srimad Bhagavatam. So today's text we are going to discuss are Canto number 4, chapter number 13, text number 12 to 20. So this whole, there are many verses, so the whole 12 to 20 verses describe the descendants of Dhruva Maharaj, and the chapter's name is also the descendants of Dhruva Maharaj. So I would like to take the screen on, share the screen. So far we have discussed the pastimes, sweet pastimes of Dhruva Maharaj, and now the thereafter on the question which Vidura asked Maitreya Muni. So on that Maitreya Muni. Who are the Prachetas? In the beginning of the chapter, because Narad Muni, in the previous chapter, we saw that once that two verses came wherein Narada Muni described the glories of pastimes of Dhruv Maharaj. So Prachetas are the descendants. They will come much later. In between also we'll see how Prithu Maharaj comes in this dynasty. And same way, even King Anga comes, King Vena comes, and thereafter Prithu Maharaj, and thereafter the Prachetas. So we'll see how it moves on. The whole fourth canto till the end, it will go on to describe the descendants of Dhruv Maharaj. Okay. So text number 12 will read out. Swarvirthir vat स्वर्विर्थिर्वत्सरश्रेष्ठा भार्या सूतं षडात्मजान् पुष्पार्णं तिग्म केतुं च ईशमूर्जं वसुञ्जयम् स्वविर्थिर्वत्सरश्रेष्ठा भार्या सूतषडात्मजान् पुष्पाणं तिग्नं केतुं च ईशमूर्जं वसुञ्जयम् स्वविधिर्वत्सरश्रेष्ठा भार्या सूत षडात्मजान् पुष्पाणं तिग्मकेतुं च ईशमूर्जं वसुञ्जयम्. Synonyms, translation and purport by Krishna Kripamurti, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Synonyms: Swartithi, Swarvithi, Vatsaraya of King Vatsara, Ishta, very dear, Bharya, wife, Ashuta, Ashut, gave birth to, Tat, 6, Atma, Atmajan, sons, Pushparnam, Pushparna, Tigmaketu, Cha, also, Isham, Ish, Urjam, Urja, Vasum, Vasu, Jayam, Jaya. Translation: King Vatsara had a very dear wife whose name was Swarvithi, and she gave birth to 6 sons named Pushparna, Tigmaketu, Ish, Urja, Vasu, Jaya, and Jaya. Purport: Vatsara's wife is mentioned here as Ishta, which means worshipable. In other words, it appears that Vatsara's wife had all good qualities. For example, she was always very faithful and obedient and affectionate to her husband. She had all good qualities for managing household affairs. If both the husband and wife are endowed with good qualities and live peacefully, then nice children take birth, and thus the whole family is happy and prosperous. We go to the next verse, text number 13. So, since there is no purport, we'll just read out the one time the shloka and then the translation. पुष्पार्णस्य प्रभा भार्या दोषा च द्वे बभूवतुः प्रातर्मध्य दिन मनिन्दिन सायम् इति यासन प्रभासुतः. Pushparna had 2 wives named Prabha and Dosha. Prabha had 3 sons named Pratar, Madhyamadinam and Shayam. Text number 14. प्रदोषो निशितो व्युष्ट इति दोषा सुतास्त्रयः व्युष्टः सुतं पुष्करिण्यां सर्वतेजसमादधे. Translation: Dosha had 3 sons, Pradosh, Nishita, and Vyushta. Vyushta's wife was named Pushkarani, and she gave birth to a very powerful son named Sarvateja. Then text number 15 and 16. Again, there is no purport. Sa chakshu sutta makutyam padnyam manovam manoma vapaha manorasuta mahishi virijadya vala sutan purum kunsam tritam dvayumram satyam vratam vratam agnistomam maritran matitratram pradyumnam shibi mulmukam. Translation: Sarvateja's wife Akuti gave birth to a son named Chakshusa, who became the sixth Manu at the end of Manu millennium. Nadvala, the wife of Chakshusa, Manu, Chakshush Manu, gave birth to the following faultless sons: Puru, Kuts, Rita, Dyumna, Satyavan, Rita, Vrata, Agnishtoma, Atiratra, Pradyumna, Shibi, and Ulmuka. It's number 17. Ulmuko janayat putran pushka rinyam shadutman angasuk manasam kyatim kritu mangir rasam gayam. Of the 12 sons, Ulmuka begot 6 sons in his wife Pushkarani. They were all very good sons, and their names were Anga, Sumana, Kyati, Kritu, Angira, and Gaya. Text number 18. Sunithangasya yapatni sushuvevena mulbaknam yadvoshilyas rajarshe nirvino nirgatpurat. Translation: The wife of Anga, Sunita, gave birth to a son named Vena, who was very crooked. The saintly king Anga was very disappointed with Vena's bad character, and he left home and kingdom and went out to the forest. And the last 2 verses of today, 19 and 20. Yamanga shepuh kupita vavraja munayah kila gatat sotyasya puyaste mamanthur dakshinam karam अराजके तदालोके दस्युभिः पीडिता प्रजः जातो नाराणांशेन पृथुराद्यः क्षितिक्ष्वरः. So we'll read synonyms. Yam, him. Vena, whom. Anga, my dear Vidura. Shepu, they cursed. Kupitaha, being angry. Vak Vajraha, whose words are as strong as a thunderbolt. Munayah, great sages, kill, indeed. Kata Ashoha, Tasya, after he died. Bhuyaha, moreover. They. Mama, Mamantuh, churn. Dakshinam, right. Karam, hand. Rajake, being without a king. Tada, then. Loke, the world. Tasyubhi, by rogues and thieves. Piditaha, suffering. Prajaha, all the citizens. Jatah, advented. Narayana, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Amshena, by a partial representation. Prithu, Adyah, original. Kshiti Ishwaraha, ruler of the world. Translation: My dear Vidura, when great sages curse, their words are invincible as a thunderbolt. Thus, when they cursed King Vane, out of anger he died. After his death, since there was no king, all the rogues and thieves flourished. The kingdom became unregulated, and all the citizens suffered greatly. On seeing this, the great sages took the right hand of Vain as a churning rod, and as a result of their churning, Lord Vishnu, in his partial representation, made his advent as King Prithu, the original emperor of the world. Purport. Monarchy is better than democracy because if monarchy is very strong, the regulative principles within the kingdom are upheld very nicely. Even 100 years ago, in the state of Kashmir in India, the king was so strong that if a thief were arrested in his kingdom and brought before him, the king would immediately chop off the hands of the thief. As a result, of this severe punishment, there were practically no theft cases within the kingdom. Even if someone left something on the street, no one would touch it. The rule was that the things could be taken away only by the proprietor and no one else would touch them. In the so-called democracy, wherever there is a theft case, the police come and take note of the case, but generally the thief is never caught, nor is any punishment offered to him as a result of incapable government. At the present moment, thieves, rogues, and cheaters are very prominent all over the world. That thus ends the purport by Krishna Kripamurti Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजन सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादान सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरि वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवास आदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नमः विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणि निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणी Hare Krishna. So welcome all devotees. So we are discussing the descendants of Dhruv Maharaj. And in the Srimad Bhagavatam, there are 10 topics. Atra Sarga, Visargascha, Sthanam Poshnam, Uttanam, Manvantara Ishanu Katha, Ashraya, Muktir, Nirodha, Muktir, Ashraya. So these 10 topics are the of the Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam. And in this, whenever the those descendants are described, so that the names of each and everybody who is part of these great devotees of the Lord or the Lord's own dynasty descendants are very holy names because they're all very dear to the Lord. That's why their names have been published. Vyasadeva, who is himself a literary incarnation of the Lord, he is if narrating And that too at the time when Parikshit Maharaj is cursed for death within 7 days. So just after completing the 7 days, if in that very urgent moment, if Parikshit Maharaj, Shukdev Goswami ji is describing the names, that means they are really great people. And because of that, we should not skip these, because sometimes it happens that in the Shrimad Bhagavatam we find the dynasties in the ninth canto, so many descendants are described, whole dynasties, the moon dynasty, the sun dynasty. Then we generally tend to, because Prabhupada has also not given much purport in some of the descriptions wherever the only the names of their dynasties are coming. But still, we should not skip them just like that, because every letter or every word in Shrimad Bhagavatam is a mantra. Mahamantra is Hare Krishna Mahamantra, but even chanting every shloka, every word is equivalent to reciting a mantra. So, in this, what happens in the context of the chapter is that in the beginning, when Dhruv Maharaj went to the forest after after his kingdom, uh, he ruled for 36,000 years, and then he leaves home for the forest, thinking that now it's time, high time, I give this kingdom to my son, and then I move to the forest. And then he goes to the forest towards the Badrikashram, then he does austerities, and one day the the airplane comes with the Nand and Sumanda coming to him and asking to board the plane to go back to the Godhead, because he, for him, a special planet was created by the Lord Himself, and that planet is in the Vaikuntha. This is not part of the material world, and it is Vaikuntha which does not get annihilated even during the annihilation. It doesn't go into through the devastation process. So he goes back, and then what happens? The This dialogue at the banks of Ganges in Haridwar, Vidur and Maitre dialogue is going on, and Vidura asks Maitre Muni that what he inquires about the prachetas. Uh, Vidura inquires because in the previous chapter the prachetas mention was there, that when prachetas were doing sacrifices, that time Narad went there, and Narad described the glories of the Dhruv Maharaj and his descendants and his pastimes, sweet pastimes, exchanges, loving exchanges with the Lord. So then that um, kindles the curiosity of Vidura, that what happens, what hearing about the Dhruva's ascent to the Lord Vishnu's abode, Vidura was overwhelmed with great devotional emotion. He also came to a lot of emotions were coming out of Vidura's, because he was very much pleased with the Lord's mercy and Lord's exchanges with his devotees, pure devotees. Then he inquired about the who were the prachetas. So and which family they belonged to, what was the where exactly was the sacrifice performed, and what all pastimes did uh, Narada describe at that sacrificial arena. So then he and then Maitre Muni starts the descendants, describing the descendants of the Lord or of Dhruv Maharaj. So his son, the elder son, was named as Utkal. But what happened? Utkal didn't accept the throne. Why? Because he was not. interested in the material opulence. And he was peaceful, detached, equipoised, and he saw the supreme Lord in all jivas. So like Brahma Bhut Pasannatma na shochati na kankshati sama sarveshu bhuteshu. So he sees everybody equal, or like Pandita Samadarshina, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne, Brahmane Gavi Hastini. So same way, he was also seeing everybody as a representative of the Lord, and Lord residing in those jivas. So he was equal, equipoised to all the jivas. He was self-realized person, and the attained the localization of the Brahma. So, and he was a mystic yogi. So he had burnt all the contaminations by practicing the Ashtanga yoga, and he was situated on his constitutional position. Jiver Swarup hai Nitya Krishna Das. So Vatsara, so what happens then? Because he was not taking any interest, and he was like Jad Bharat. So Jad Bharat story is also, he was behaving as if he was a deaf and dumb to all others who are the materialistic people, and he used to interact with only those people who were spiritually advanced. So Prabhupada writes in this comment in the purport that an advanced devotee avoids speaking with persons who are not in devotional life. But to those who are in devotional life, he speaks in friendship. He is a friend. He behaves like friends with equals. With the material people, he will ignore them. And he speaks to the innocent people, like to the Kanishta Adhikaris, he will speak uh, and he will give them directions, like he will speak to the innocent people for their enlightenment, how they can really get connected to the Lord. So because of this reason, Utkala didn't accept the throne, and his younger brother Vatsara, he became the king. So so thereafter, these descendants are described, that Vatsara and Swarvethi. So through them, six sons came. Six sons were born: Pushparna, Tigmaketu, Isha, Urja, Vasu, and Jaya. Then Pushparna and Prabha. There were two wives of Pushparna, so Prabha and Dosha, and from them three sons each were born from each of these queens. And then Vyushta and Pushkarni, the one son was born, Sarva Teja. He was very powerful son. And then from Sarvateja and Akuti, the Chakshusha Manvantar. So Manvantara is also one topic of Shrimad Bhagavatam. So currently the Manvantar, the seventh Manvantara is right now going. But it starts with Vevasvat Manu, Vivaswan. So right now our Vivaswan, Vevasvat Manu is going on. And first Manu was Swayambhu Manu. So these are all the stories coming from Swayambhu Manu. Swayambhu Manu, then his son was Uttanapad, and from them Dhruva comes. So likewise. Then Ulmuka. So Ulmuka and Pushkarni, they also had six sons, and then among those six sons, the Anga, King Anga was a very famous king. He was very pious king, and he ruled for many years, and but he didn't have any son. So Anga, the son of Anga and Sunita, he married. Anga was married to Sunita Mata, who was the death personified. He was the daughter of death personified. So she was Anga and Sunita gave birth to King Vena. And Vain, he is written here that he was very crooked. So because of that, Vena was crooked, and he ruled like a demon. So he had a very all the qualities of a demoniac qualities, and he started torturing the subject, all the citizens of the kingdom. Then at some point of time, King Vane, he leaves the kingdom, and after that, the Vane starts ruling, and in that the sages and all, because dharma is not protected, and because of that, immediately immediately the sages get disturbed, and the earth also, mother earth also is get disturbed when there are demonic people who are ruling the kingdom, like Kansa, Ravana, or Hiranyakashipu. So so eh, because of that, the sages kill him with their power. But first they try uh, to make him understand that this is not the dharma. And in the purport also, Prabhupada writes that many places still the democracy system came into existence, but so many countries are still working with monarchy as a system. And monarchy, Prabhupada is writing, even in those days, monarchy is compared to be a better way of ruling the kingdom as compared to the democracy, because in democracy people are not qualified people are not coming, and the because of that, a lot of corruption takes place. And monarchy, wherever there is a monarchy, then the praja is also following the rules of the varnashrama dharma. So dharma is prevailing in the monarchy system. And Prabhupada writes, even 100 years ago also in Kashmir, the king used to be so strict that all the citizens used to get panic through the danda, because the king rules with the Rajniti, Samadam Danda Bhed. So, so very strict. If there are rules and regulations, then the citizens will also follow the the dharma. And dharma, like what is dharma of a king, are described in Mahabharata. Particularly when we see in the first canto also, when Yudhishthir Maharaj, uh, when Bhishma Dev is about to leave his body, so that time Krishna takes all the Pandavas along with Yudhishthira Maharaj, led by Yudhishthira Maharaj. They go to Bhishma Dev, and that time Bhishma Dev gives them the lessons of Rajadharma. How, what is the dharma for a king? So there, the so many ways king should protect his citizens from going into in the rogues, the thieves. They should not be there, and king should protect, because king is considered as Naradeva. In he's an incarnation, or rather some partial some incarnation of Lord Vishnu, because Vishnu is maintainer, and the king is also considered to be a maintainer of the praja. Vishnu is maintainer for the entire universe, but the king is maintainer of one particular area. So there, he's supposed to be treating everybody equally. He should be providing the uh, the necessary necessities of life. He should collect taxes only when he is able to provide in return. So like in Ramcharitmanas also, mukhya mukso chahiye. Like what is the mouth's duty? It takes the food, but it does not consume on its own. It receives food, but then it distributes to the whole body. So everywhere the nourishment is done by mouth. Through mouth it takes. So same way the king is collecting taxes, but then he is utilizing those funds for maintaining these citizens. Wherever there is a need, he is providing education, he is providing the healthcare, he is providing the basic necessity to transportation. All those things are the king's, and he is also protecting people from outside attacks, not only from within but also from outside attacks. So king's duty becomes like a maintainer, like a father. So father will treat everybody alike, all the children alike. Same way the king is also supposed to be treating everybody. But we see in democracy the kings, the rulers, or the what we call them, the prime minister, the people who are in the ruling position, they are sometimes feeding their own body or own generations, not for, they are not doing much work for the society in general. And because of that, the democracy system is faulty. So the rules should be such that they are always discouraging people to commit sins, sinful life. And they should also be Rajarishi. So Dhruv Maharaj was a Rajarishi. They also have full faith on scriptures, and they are conducting their rule also based on the prescribed duties of a king, basis that only he's ruling the kingdom. So that is the reason the punishments were so severe, so intense, that anybody will be afraid of committing any sin or any murder or any. Nowadays we see that the legal system is so poor that it takes so long. So the rogues and thieves or the hunters, etc., they are not or for that matter terrorists also, they are not afraid of any violation, because they know that they will get scot free. And because of the money power, the even the judgments are also biased. But in the king's ruling, they were not prolonged rulings. They were fixed rules for each of the crimes. Then if somebody is engaged in any theft activity, his hands will be cut. If he is uh, um, so that way he will be in one or two hearing only. The king only will do the justice system. So it will not be taking too long. But now with the democratic system, then everybody has a right. Everybody has a um, legal remedy and all. So the lawyers systems, they will be proving the wrong thing right, and in that process the rightful person will also get impacted. We see how courts are giving the justice system, our failure of the justice system. In this, the judges are also caught with so much of cash in their homes. That means the judges have also become corrupt in the Kali Yuga. So Kali, the effects are coming out, and we see that justice system is also so much of corruption. So that is the reason the monarchy is much better, because monarchy, what happens in the king, his son, if he is qualified, then he will be taking the ruling after the king retires. But if the elder son is not interested or capable, then also the younger one will get. So that means they have enough money or sufficient protection, everything is there. So he will not be, He will not be motivated by collecting just the money. Whereas in democracy, every now and then the new person comes up and then he starts accumulating wealth. He starts creating that wealth through illegal means. And in the process, he gets a victim of adharma because he has to protect his seat also. In democracy, we see so many times the governments fail just because they do not have sufficient numbers. And for maintaining the numbers, they will use corrupt means. So in the Truas dynasty also, that King Vena came, who was very notorious, and he was way he was um so he started killing people, torturing people, killing animals as if it was he was taking them to slaughterhouse. So after that, the sages, they get angry and they only uh, kill him. And after that, the Prithu Maharaj, because sages, they wanted the uh, rules to the ruling to continue, because if immediately when King Vane was also killed by the sages, suddenly the rogues and thieves started mushrooming, and there was anarchy. So then the sages thought that we should do uh, one more yajna. So from Vena's body only, because his mother, Vena's mother, Sunita, she preserved his body, and from his one of the hands, the right hand, churning rod. They made the great sages took the right hand of the Vena as churning rod, and they churn. Through this, the Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, appears in his partial representation. So Anshavatar as King Prithu appeared, and along with his wife. So both appear, and then they rule with piety as per the like if king is very he the Prithu Maharaj was very pious king, and he was following all the rules and regulations. And then when he saw that Mother Earth, he did 99 Ashwamedha Yagya. And when he was about to do the 100th Ashwamedha Yagya, then Indra became very, very jittery, because he thought that I will lose my Indra's position, because if anyone who does 100 Ashwamedha Yagya, he is entitled to become the next Indra. And because of that, he approaches Brahmaji. And then when Brahmaji appears at the sacrificial arena, when Prithu Maharaj was just about to do the 100th yagya, then Brahmaji um, convinces or Brahmaji requests Prithu Maharaj to stop that last yagya. And Prithu Maharaj Prithu Maharaj follows the instruction of Brahma, and immediately um, he agrees for stopping that yajna, and thereby Indra is also happy, satisfied, and everything gets reconciled. So we see that the great Prachetas, thereafter we'll see that after Prathu Maharaj ruled for so many years, and then he chastises Mother Earth also, because at some point of time, Mother Earth also stops producing the crops and vegetable plants, all those things, because suddenly the earth was filled with so many unpious activities. So then Prithu Maharaj chastises and gets the seeds, because the Mother Earth had preserved all the seeds. She had taken inside her and because of that, the crops were not growing, and there was a famine situation. So under that situation, Prithu Maharaj gets back those seeds, and then the immediately the earth was filled with a lot of crops, all grains, everything started coming, and the citizens were happy and satisfied. So we see that Dhruv Maharaj dynasty also is uh, very illustrious, and because of that, thereafter the Prachetas will also come, and Prachetas were instructed by Narada Muni, and even Shiva also. Prachetas go to Shiva area also in Kailash area, and this is what the dynasty is all about of Dhruv Maharaj, and this is a very interesting dynasty to hear. And the Palashruti also, that we by chanting, by glorifying the Lord and his devotees and his devotees of the devotees, the dynasties, the descendants of the devotees also are very auspicious to chant. So this is the understanding of these verses, and here we can end the discussion. And if you have any question, comment, or any correction, I invite you to participate. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandava Pranam Prabhuji.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Thanks for a wonderful class, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, a question arises. Normally, we have seen that every dynasty talk about the sons. He had 5 sons, 6 sons, 7 sons, 8 sons.
Yes,
None of
Prabhuji.
them have spoken about the daughter. They don't have daughters only, Prabhuji. How to understand this, Prabhuji? See, we are just watching here also. Everywhere there are
Okay.
5 sons, 7 sons, 2 sons, 3 sons, and no
Right.
daughter at all. So, what would be the reason, Prabhuji?
Okay. Okay, Prabhu. So here, in this particular, yes, you can say, but it is not so. Bhagavatam talks about the daughters as well. You would have seen Akuti, Prasuti, Devhuti in the previous chapter, canto. Like Devhuti's whole, the dynasty, like Devhuti, Kapil Muni. So for Daksha's daughters, all are described, na? Parvati, even including Sati also. Correct. So
Yes, yes, sir.
those daughters are also described. So not that Bhagavatam does not describe the daughters, but in this particular, if sons are born, then they will be naturally describing only sons. But yes, there are in the dynasties, daughters are also taken equally. The whole chapters like Devoti, Akuti, Prasuti, Sati, Daksha's daughter is described in so many chapters. You know, Prabhu?
Yes, yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Yes. So
Thank you,
we'll
Prabhu.
we'll
Thank you.
see. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Any other question, or otherwise we'll end this meeting. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhayascha kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam bhavanebhyo vaishnavyo namo. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai.